did you first start using?
When I was 16.
How was your first time using?
It was scary.
Was it peer pressure or what happened?
It was peer pressure, family pressure.
When did you stop using?
I stopped using August 18th of 2018.
If you could go and take it all back, would you?
Absolutely.
What made you quit?
There's a lot of things that made me quit. My children, my parents, my situation. I was incarcerated and just seeing what my life had become.
Did you start using, what were you using?
I started using marijuana at the age of 13. I then went to cocaine at the age of 16, 17. And then heroin at 27, all the way until I was 35.
Renee?
So Renee, how old were you when you first started your addiction?
I was 12 years old. I was in middle school, just entered.
Was it peer pressure when you first tried it?
Yeah, I think probably that's a lot of it. Everybody's doing it, so you just figure, well, I'm going to try it too. So it was mostly marijuana. One of the scariest things that happened to me is one time they put, there was some PCP in the marijuana that we smoked. And that was scary because there was something like for 3 days that I wasn't normal. So even though I thought I was just smoking marijuana, you just never know what can be added to it. So it's really definitely a dangerous thing no matter what.
How was your first time using it?
Well, I think the first time it's just that feeling of relaxation. And as a teenager, I think most of us, that's what we want when we're teenagers, just to be chill, relax and chill. So it was okay, other than that one experience that I had very early on, and that was in San Diego, and that should have scared me enough to stop, but unfortunately.
Was 35.
How old were you when you first started using?
I was 16.
How long did it last for?
19 years.
How did it affect you and the people around you?
It affected me by loss of freedom, missed out on a lot of things with my family. I missed out on, achieving as much as I wanted to achieve in life.
Do you have any long-term effects?
Yes, it's a struggle every day with addiction because it's always going to be there. So it's never going to go away. So that's one of the scariest long-term effects, is that I could relapse at any time, and that's pretty scary to me.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Logan, and I'm here with
Marvin Morales.
So Marvin, how old were you when you first started your drug abuse?
Well, seriously speaking, I think I tried it out when I was 13. Just smoked pot, started doing heroin. Then I quit, got back into school, started sports and all that. Then that failed, and at the age of 17, I got back on heroin.
Was it peer pressure when you first tried it?
No pressure at all, man. I was working with a crew of a bunch of ex-convicts with the park up program.
How was your first time using it?
My first time using it, it was pretty yucky.
How long did this last for?
I'm gonna say like 8 to 12 hours.
How long did it last yearly? Like when did you stop?
Uh, well, like I say, I started at 13, then I let it go till I was 17. Then at 17, I started doing it every day till I turned 18. Then at 18, I went to prison.
Here, Maris.
Maria.
How old were you when you first started using?
I was about 14 years old.
And was it peer pressure when you first tried it?
Well, in a way, yes. When I started smoking weed, it was peer pressure from my friends.
Did you try anything else after this?
I did. Shortly after that, I started using cocaine.
Why, if I may ask?
I was just curious. I, smoked weed and was just curious about, what cocaine would make me feel. So I went and did that.
What made you quit?
I really wanted to change my life. I seen the little rabbit hole that I went down to, and it wasn't a good one. I went from smoking weed to doing cocaine to smoking crack, and I decided that I needed to do a change for myself and health-wise as well.
Who am I here with?
Lilia Trejo.
How has having a family member with addiction affected you?
It affects the whole family. It's disappointment, anxiety of how you're going to get them to stop. It's a sad situation for anybody to fall into drugs.
How did you feel when you first found out?
Helpless, angry, helpless, ready to go fight for my child. Made a lot of scandals and stuff that didn't work to get them out of it.
Do you have any advice for people that also have family members suffering from addiction?
Well, you can't do it alone. We got to rely on God. We got to do it with love, a lot of patience. My advice to anybody is if you see that your kids are starting, you put a stop to it immediately, move them, just do something. It's everywhere, but we can't just sit back and let it get to 20 years later. There's a lot of destruction in between.
How has having family members with addiction affected you?
The way it has affected me is that with my, not having, how do I say it? Some of my siblings with me, it does impact by, them not being there for me to help me, to guide me the right way. And then just mostly having my siblings around is what was the hardest.
What is your connection to any people that have ever been on drugs?
My connection with them was my brothers, my biological parents. Cause with my biological parents, they were doing drugs while I was still in the womb, and to the point that my biological mother gave birth to me, she was still doing drugs, and that does have an impact on people too.
Do you have any advice for people that have gone through your situation?
There's always going to be an outcome to make it your choice if you want to follow in their footsteps or following your own footsteps. And I say follow your own footsteps, do what's right, and help others.
Thank you for your time.
Towards you?
It did. My asthma progressed. Health-wise, my liver, my skin, my hair, just my health, took a toll.
Did it affect anyone around you when you were using?
It did. It made me pull away from my family. It made me want to be alone. For a while there, I just was very self-destructive.
How long did this last for?
Gosh, I would say for like maybe 7 years.
Do you have any advice for the people who have family members who suffer from addiction?
All you can do is be there for the individual and not judge, because we're not perfect. Unconditional love, that's for sure. Do not enable, but you can be there at the same time.
Thank you for this interview.
Thank you.
Do they have any long-term effects?
Yes.
What kind?
I'm gonna say it gave me issues with my kidneys. That was the main thing. Issues with my kidneys and my liver. It gave me not diabetes, but Hep C. Hepatitis C is what it gave me. Yeah.
What made you quit?
Near death.
Do you have any advice for people who are suffering this kind of addiction?
Yes, man. Seek counseling, seek help, and don't give up. There's always hope, man. But don't let it come to death, because I've had to face death like about 3, 4, 5 times already. And you know what? This last time was a wake-up call. Pretty sad.
Thank you for this. Did you try any other drugs?
I did.
What kind?
Well, let's see. I tried some mushrooms. I did try acid one time, but that scared me. I think I felt more comfortable if I knew it was something natural. So that's why the mushrooms didn't scare me as much. But then as I got older, I did start using cocaine and crack, and that was horrible. I really am very lucky that I came back from all of that.
How long did this all last for?
Let's see. Well, I started smoking when I was 12, but I didn't start using anything else until I was like maybe in my mid to late 20s. And then I finally went back to school, back to college to get a degree. And then when I was going to become a teacher, I decided I needed to get my own act together.
Did this have any long-term effects with you?
The thing that I noticed, definitely it does affect your lungs, it affects your health, it affects your skin, it affects everything, because smoking is really bad for you. Any of the drugs you do are bad for you. And it does kill your brain cells. And so in retrospect, yeah, I know that my body went through a lot that it shouldn't have had to go through if I would have been smart enough to stay away from all of that.
What made you quit?
Mainly because for my health, and I was getting older, and as I said, I was going to start teaching, and I wanted to I didn't want to be a hypocrite with my students, so I wanted to let them know where I came from and that I did do things like that, but you can still come out of it, and you can still be a successful person, even if you've made mistakes in your life, and that was the main thing. That's why I wanted to share it with others.
Do you have any advice for people who have family members suffering from addiction?
Well, I think the only thing I would say is there's nothing you can do really to help them other than to be there for them and love them.